Hello everyone, and as always, thank you for tuning into the channel today. As you can see, we're on Spotrac because as this video goes up, NBA free agency will be only a few hours away. Of course, I am recording this on the night of the 29th, so something might still happen tonight before it begins tomorrow, but I don't expect it to. But I wanted to take a look at where we're at right now, what we might expect going forward, just some of the big moves that have happened. So we're going to start. Oh my god, please. We're going to start by heading off to the trades, and we're just going to go through a couple of these. So starting here, a few hours ago, Yusuf Nurkic was traded to Utah for Colin Sexton and a 2030 second-round pick, which this pick is essentially meaningless to me, just completely meaningless. It's so far into the future that this pick is probably going to be traded 6 more times, so don't need to worry about that. I saw a lot of people say that this trade didn't make a lot of sense for Utah, and it might be a precursor to another trade. We'll see. I think it's fine, right? I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's bad one way or the other for either team, but that's what it is. Kobe Jones and Dylan Jones got swapped. Not a huge deal there. Isaac Okoro is now on the Bulls. Lonzo Ball now in Cleveland. I think that could be a very good move for Cleveland if Lonzo Ball can stay healthy, but of course, that is not likely. Here's an interesting one. If we scroll down here, I was looking at this earlier. So this pick here, because this was a pick when it got traded, Jahmai Mashak. This pick originally was traded to Phoenix, and then it was traded to Golden State, and then it was traded to the Grizzlies. Or not the Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies. I don't know why I was confused there, but yeah. So that I just think that's really weird how the NBA does it with their picks. Where so this trade here, Kevin Durant was Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, 5 second-round picks, and pick number 10. Pick number 10 turns into Kaman Malak, I think is how you say that. And then the 2025 second turns into Jahmai Mashak. But because of the way the NBA does it, this guy was drafted by the Rockets to play for the Grizzlies after getting traded twice. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird how the NBA does it. So, yeah, you see his name on here 3 times. That's just moving on. Let's see here. This is another draft trade, I believe. Because this guy is now on the Wolves, as you can see. I don't think there's many major trades after that. Like you see just a couple of middling second round picks being moved. Minnesota gets 2026 second round pick and a 2032 second round pick. So this one, another pick that's just going to be traded like 6 more times, and so it'll have God knows how many provisions on it. But that's an interesting one. Rasheer Fleming was also a pick that I saw a lot of people get really excited about when Phoenix made this pick. So could be a guy to watch. Here is a trade that is finally something of at least a little bit of consequence. Mark Williams famously was supposed to end up on the Lakers, failed his physical. He's now with the Phoenix Suns, so Charlotte gets a 2029 first-round pick from the Phoenix Suns, which is, it has so many stipulations on it. It is the least favorable of Cleveland, Utah, and Minnesota. So it'll probably end up being Cleveland's pick in 2029, but it's impossible to say, right? So this pick might even get traded again. It's just, that's where we're at in the NBA. And then I think these were also, one of these I think was a pick. I think it was a first and a second for Mark Williams, and then Vasily Micic, I think is how you say it. Vasily Micic, I think is how you say it. Don't quote me. That was just a player that was added. So this is interesting for Phoenix, because they also drafted a guy. What was his name again? It's up here somewhere. Yeah, Kaman Malak. So, they had no center, now they have two. So that's interesting. Nick Clifford is now on the Sacramento Kings. And then, of course, Oklahoma City gets a 2027 first-round pick, which also has 72 billion stipulations on it. So, this is a top 16 protected, and if the pick is in the top 16, the first-round pick goes back to San Antonio, and this becomes 2 seconds. So, interesting there. The Atlanta Hawks were also very, very busy heading into the draft. And during the draft, they got a first-round pick out of New Orleans. And they also acquired Kristaps Porzingis from the Boston Celtics. And then Terrence Mann is headed to Brooklyn. This was really interesting to me. Like, I did not expect Brooklyn to just come in and take on that contract, but that's how it is sometimes. So that is another. I mean, Boston, I think, is just here to facilitate. So that's why Boston's there. Walter Clayton Jr. was drafted by the Jazz. They get a bunch of second-round picks in Washington. Let's see here. Oh, yes. I forgot about this. CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk are now also on the Wizards. And Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey are now in New Orleans. So, New Orleans... Oh my god, what is going on there? Jordan Poole, Zion Williamson. They don't have CJ McCollum anymore. They don't have Brandon Ingram anymore. I forget who else is there, but New Orleans is interesting. Cedric Coward to the Grizzlies, bunch of picks, and Hassan Yang to the Trailblazers. So that's another interesting move there that I remember watching the draft, and a lot of people were surprised to see Hanson Yang, sorry, I'm mispronouncing it there, Hanson Yang, end up in Portland, but that is where he is now. And then Anthony Simons is now in Boston, and there are rumors that I saw that Anthony Simons might be moving again before too long, because the way I understand it is that Boston really wants to keep Luke Cornett, but they can't if they don't move Simons or one of their other guys. I can't remember who, but there is the possibility that we see Anthony Simons moved again. Drew Holiday now in Portland. Portland was really busy. Portland, Atlanta, New Orleans, like some of these teams got pretty busy. And then, of course, the first one we saw was Desmond Bane to Orlando for 5 first-round picks, which is a lot of picks, and KCP. But that's a lot of picks for Desmond Bane. That's a lot of picks. So that is essentially like the big time moves that we've seen in the trades. And then if we go to just the transaction wire, and let me see, let's take a look at some of the signings. That's not what I'm looking for. re-signings. Nope. Okay. Is it just gonna... Yeah, we're just gonna have to pick through this, I guess. Oh, wait, no. Extensions? Entry extended. No, this isn't what I'm looking for either. Steven Adams, extended by the Rockets. That's cool. Daniel Gafford extended. Jalen Williams, Jabari Smith, stuff like that. What am I looking for specifically? It's not. It wouldn't be qualifying offers. No. Oh, what is it? Is it options? No. Those haven't gone through yet. Yeah, none of this is really what I'm looking for. So I'm just looking for the Naz Reid stuff. I don't know where that would be. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Julius Randle agreed to through. So what would this be specifically? Well, let's just... Okay. So Julius Randle signed a 3-year deal with Minnesota for $100 million, which is honestly, this is not a bad contract at all. $33 million a year for Julius Randle. This is not a bad contract, even a little bit. This is actually a pretty fair deal for the Timberwolves, and it also makes him way more tradable if they want to do that later. And they also signed Naz Reid, but I don't remember for what. Here he is. So Naz Reid also signed for 5 years, $125 million, about $25 million a year. This is also a pretty fair deal, I would say, for a sixth man, because in this era, right? The way that it is right now, $25 million a year is not a bad deal for a six man. Six men are basically starters now. So, I think he's also pretty tradable with a contract like this. So, they have some future flexibility there as well. And that also, if we just do... If we take a quick look... that is about what Karl Anthony Towns is for the New York Knicks. He's making $53 million this year. Next year is $57 million. So, would they rather have Karl Anthony Towns, or would they rather have those other two guys, plus the guys that they drafted? They drafted two bigs. I can't remember what their names are. But there was another guy that just got signed. Hold on. I will find him. Bobby Portis agreed to a 3-year deal for $44 million. I think that's fine. James Harden. I didn't even see this last night. James Harden is on a 2-year contract extension for... How much was that? $81.5 million for the Clippers. That's fine. Let's see here. PJ Tucker declined a $3 million club option. Eric Gordon is still around. Yusuf Nurkic got traded, as we discussed. Duncan Robinson was terminated by Miami. Kelly Oubre agreed to his player option with the Sixers. Dorian Finney-Smith declined his player option with the Lakers. What does that? I think that means he's a free agent. Yeah, yesterday was the deadline for player options and stuff. Jalen Williams was extended for $24 million on 3 years. This is a great deal for OKC, by the way. this is really good. Because I think Jalen Williams can develop into a very good player. Of course, this is the other Jalen Williams, not the big three Jalen Williams. You know, very, very interesting that they have two guys named Jalen Williams. LeBron James picked up his last year. So he's back for $52 million. Let's take a look at the Lakers real fast. LeBron James is back. Luka Doncic. I fully expect Luka Doncic will be extended today. Just because, next year is uncertain. Did Rui Hachimura have an option? No, he did not. So this is just the last year of his deal. I think that's fine. I don't think they're going to extend him yet. Austin Reeves, I still think might get traded, but there is something that developed very recently. I don't know if it'll show up in here, but DeAndre Ayton was just released by the Trailblazers. They just bought out his contract, so I fully expect now DeAndre Ayton to be a pretty sizable, no pun intended, target for the Lakers. I know he's been struggling the last couple years, but now that he's been bought out, I think he'll get picked up for cheap, and I think that wouldn't be the worst option for the Lakers. So let's head to free agents right now. So, as you can see, Kyrie Irving signed again with the Mavericks. Fred VanVleet re-signed, and then these other guys don't really matter. But here's where it gets interesting. So, looking at who's here, and this also doesn't have everyone, I don't think, because I don't see... Well, actually, let me see if we can sort by type. Yes, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. So, one of the guys that I expect to be moved the quickest this free agency is Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't know where he is, but he should be here somewhere. Let me just... There he is. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a guy that apparently a lot of teams are having interest in. So I fully expect Minnesota to take advantage of that and do a sign-and trade. They got him in the D'Angelo Russell trade that they made with LA. That also brought over Mike Conley. They got him basically as a throwaway. And now it sounds like he's about to make $20 million a year. That's what I'm hearing in the rumor mill. So that is what I expect to happen very, very quickly, is a sign-and trade for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't know exactly where he's going to go, but I think they could easily get 2 second-round picks for him, and, if so, I think they take that. Another guy that I think is going to move very quickly, if Boston does not retain him, is Luke Kornet. It sounds like, everything I'm reading on Twitter, it sounds like Luke Kornet is a guy that's being eyed by quite a few teams, including the Lakers. So I think Luke Kornet is probably going to go pretty quickly today. But let's see here. We've got some of these other guys. Of course, bird rights and all that. We'll see where everyone goes. Some of these guys, like Marvin Bagley, famously drafted before Luka. I think this might be his last year in the NBA. He was drafted number 2 overall. Massive bust, right? Absolutely massive bust. Probably his last year in the NBA. I don't think anyone's going to pick him up anytime soon. Dennis Schroeder, he wants to stay in Detroit. Dennis Schroeder wants to stay in Detroit. It sounds like he could also be a guy that gets signed and traded. From what I've read, it sounds like there might be a market for that. And I wish it would stop going back to the sign there. Chris Paul, I've seen some rumors about him. Some saying he wants to head back to LA. Don't exactly know what's going to happen there. But it sounds like he wants to be on the West Coast again. So we will see what happens there with Chris Paul. He is 40 now. I don't expect him to get that big of a deal. Clint Capella is a guy that I've been looking at that I think could definitely be a guy that heads to the Lakers. Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't know where he's going to go, but I don't think he'll be back with the Lakers. Al Horford, I think, who knows? Kevon Looney is here. Jonathan Kuminga could be a guy that gets traded, but I think they will try to bring him back to Golden State. Trey Mann, restricted free agent. I think Charlotte will extend him. Russell Westbrook, I can't remember what it was that I read about him. I saw a report come out about Russell Westbrook, but I don't think he's staying in Denver. Let's see. Kyle Lowry is around. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think they'll bring him back and just sort of deal with it. There's Luke Cornett, which we talked about earlier. Oh God, Gary Trent Jr. I didn't know he was a free agent. I think we're getting into the waters here a little bit, but let's look now at guys that might get traded today. Which I don't think there's any like huge names. Like I don't think Giannis is getting traded. I think Giannis is staying with the Milwaukee Bucks unless they do something absolutely absurd. In free agency, I don't think he's going to get traded. On Brooklyn, though, if I find the Brooklyn Nets, I do think Cam Johnson is going to get traded. Like, I do 100% think Cam Johnson is on the board. Just because the way that this team is set up, right, it's really young. I don't think at this point in time that Cameron Johnson is part of their long-term plans. So I think Cameron Johnson could be a player that is moved today, tomorrow, whenever. Not entirely sure, but I do think Cam Johnson is a goner. If you look here, they used every single one of their picks. They drafted 5 guys in the first round, which is nuts, but there they all are. D'Angelo Russell is gone for sure, just 100%. It might be his last year in the league too. He's only 29, but I think his time is over. I can't remember who else I was saying might get traded in the last NBA video that I did. But, both Shams and Windhurst say that this is going to be a very active free agency. John Collins, I had a dream that he got moved, actually. Like, very recently, I had a dream that John Collins got traded. I I don't know why that was a dream that I had, but it was a dream that I had. I don't remember what team. I think it was on the East Coast somewhere. But I had a dream that John Collins got traded, so we'll see if that comes true. Minnesota, I expected to be more active. Of course, like, either one of these could be a sign-in trade, I guess, but just based on the money, right? The money that's here, I don't think so anymore. I also don't know why they have Naz Reid listed as a center. That man cannot play center to save his life. That's why they drafted two of them. They drafted two centers for a reason. I honestly expected this team to be way more active. I thought they were going to move Randall. I thought they were going to move Reed. But it looks like after Kevin Durant signed with the Rockets that they're just going to run it back. I don't know how that might work out for them, but I expected more. I expected that to be different. Dallas, Kyrie Irving's back. Klay Thompson's still here. They extended Daniel Gafford. PJ Washington, I think, might get traded. I think that's a possibility, just to clear up minutes on the team. Because they drafted Cooper Flagg. I think Cooper Flagg's gonna come in immediately. And if it's Daniel Gafford, Anthony Davis, well, Daniel Gafford probably wouldn't start. So if it's Anthony Davis, Kyrie, Klay, PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg, I don't know what the starting lineup would look like there. Kyrie, Klay, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, and then Gafford or Washington. One of those guys. I don't know which one. But I think they do want to clear minutes somewhere, just to give them to Cooper Flagg or something. I don't know. But PJ Washington could maybe get traded. It's possible. Let me see here. Who else do I think is going to be very active? The OKC Thunder, where are they? OKC. I still think it's possible Lou Dort gets traded, just because, I don't think he's in their long-term plans at all. I think he's entirely replaceable. And he'll never be more tradable than he is right now. God, they have a lot of guards on this team. I did not realize they had this many guards. That is a lot. That's a lot of guards. That's very interesting. I think Lou Dort could get traded. They just drafted two centers as well. I don't remember who the other guy was because he's not here. But I don't know if the other guy is a center or a forward. But they drafted two bigs. That much I do know. But yeah, I think Lou Dort's probably tradable. But because of the way they drafted, Isaiah Hartenstein's probably the odd man out. But Hartenstein was so good for them, so I don't know what's going on there. And he's on a really good contract too, right? I don't know. OKC, I don't know what exactly they're doing, but obviously Chet Holmgren's not going anywhere. The other Jalen Williams, this guy down here, he's not going anywhere. He's gonna get big money. But they drafted two bigs, so it's Isaiah Hartenstein's probably I don't know. They're I think if anyone gets traded from OKC, it's Lou Dort. But for the life of me, I can't figure out what they're doing. The Clippers, I don't think are gonna do anything, just because this roster is. Well, I mean, you can look at this and. Yeah. Same thing with the 76ers. The 76ers, I don't think there's even anything they can do. I don't think anyone wants Joel Embiid for this money. I don't think anyone wants Paul George. Obviously, Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey are the way forward, but man, that front court is scary, dude, and not in a good way. I don't really think there's anything that can be done there. We talked about the Rockets, the Mavericks, Jazz, the Trailblazers. What's going on with the Kings? I've heard rumors. Heard. Of course, when I say heard, I mean I read it on Twitter, which we all know is a very, very reliable source, obviously, and full of no disinformation whatsoever. But, there's rumors going around that Malik Monk might get traded. Don't know how believable that is, but the Kings I don't expect much out of. The Pacers, I have no idea what's going to go on here. But again, I talked about in my last video, I thought for sure that the Pacers would have, before the finals, before Game 7, I would have said the Pacers have the best future in the NBA. Because look at this, everyone's just, everyone is signed through and through. The oldest guy here is Pascal. I mean, TJ McCollum, I guess, but, he's tradable. Well, maybe not tradable, but replaceable for sure. You can find a way to replace those minutes. And Miles Turner is a free agent, but who cares, right? Their entire core, Halliburton, Siakam, Nembhard, Naismith, Obi Toppin, they're all extended already. They're all on long-term deals for the most part, and quite a few of them are very good deals. But we all know what happens, unfortunately. Tyrese Halliburton, of course, blew his Achilles, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, maybe they do look to trade TJ McConnell. Maybe a team like Minnesota is like, hey, the TJ McConnell guy was really good, and we need a point guard. Give us TJ McConnell. Who knows? Yeah, this is a team to watch for sure, I think. But a lot of these guys, I think, are just going to make pretty lateral moves. Miami, I don't know what Miami's going to do. I've seen rumors about Bam Adebayo. I've seen rumors about Tyler Hero, but I don't think they're going to do really anything. This team, I think, is right on the... Honestly, it's a lot like the Miami Dolphins, where it's they're right on the edge of complete and utter despair, in my mind. So we'll see what happens here. This team's old. It's not good. I don't know. Does anyone else stick out to me as a team to watch? Not really. I mean, maybe the Grizzlies could do something again, just because, they already traded Desmond Bane, and I don't know what they expect from this roster, but who knows? But, maybe. But yeah, that is how that looks. So I'm going to make a couple of predictions real fast before we go. I'm going to say Clint Capella signs with the Lakers. I am going to say D'Angelo Russell is out of the league by the end of this year. I'm going to say Dennis Schroeder re-signs with the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to say Nickeil Alexander-Walker gets signed and traded. I'm going to say Kuminga is back with the Warriors. I'm going to say... Russell Westbrook ends up on the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm saying it, so now that's something you can get me for if I'm wrong. But those are just a couple of my predictions. I think it's going to move fast once this gets started, a few hours from now. I think there's still one or two surprises waiting for us today, and I'm excited to see that. I'll try to be active on Twitter today as things unfold. I know I haven't been using my Twitter all that often just because Twitter Twitter is the way that it is. And I hope you did enjoy this video. I know it was kind of all over the place, but that is how I operate. I thank you, as always, very much for watching. I hope to speak with you all again soon, and goodbye for now.